Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Today I want to talk to you about a very powerful tool that's taking the market by storm. It's known as ChatGPT. It is an AI generative tool that helps you really get information, research, ideas, templates, all of that kind of stuff in order for you to be even more productive. See it as an artificial intelligence assistant. That's effectively what it is. And if you're thinking of getting an assistant to do research for you, forget it. No, I'm playing. I mean, obviously assistants are really good, but this tool is different because it gives you context-based information and remembers what you've asked within a thread. Okay, so I'll show you what this is. Let me share my screen. I want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen. So this is it. This is their website. This is the company OpenAI, and again, they've been around for a while. However, they launched the other day this project, or this product should we say, and it is open as a free sort of like project, as a sort of like tool at the moment. So again, I would use it as best you can to really sort of like play around with it and see how it can help you with your productivity as well. They also have other things as well on the market, such as DALL-E 2, which allows you to use text to create different images and stuff, which is really cool. So this is all generated from text, and there's also a text-to-speech sort of like service as well that they've developed as well. So OpenAI have done a lot within this space. Now I want to talk to you guys about how you can obviously utilize this stuff. I'm doing this on the fly right now, so I've got some prompts to help me here. So basically you can do these 9 different things at least. Okay, so the first one I'm going to try is ideas and brainstorming. So I use this as an example. Now I already did this before. I did a video, but I want to do it again. So let's click on new thread, and in fact I'm gonna sort of like refresh it. When you do sign up, you can sign up with your Google, and it's very easy to set up as well. Okay, so again, if I paste this in and I press enter, it will generate some text. So it may even say some interesting stuff. So it's not about paying your girlfriend for Valentine's Day, but rather about showing your love and appreciation. I mean, come on. I just asked for some ideas, and it's given me context. It's given me something that's quite human-like, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to let that continue to type. Okay, so the next thing is lists. Okay, so an example of a list could be, you know, what are the top most visited places in the world? Now, ChatGPT doesn't use the internet. It has aggregated a lot of data, and I think there was a cutoff at 2020 where it's, you know, utilized this data to generate this information. So let me press enter, boom, let's see where it develops. Now the speed of this is really good. So if you've just created a new page and you've refreshed it as an example, it will generally sort of like give you answers very, very quickly. So look, 89.4 million international tourists in France. I mean, this is fantastic. So this just gives you an idea. You could probably do what are the least visited places, but I'm not going to embarrass no countries here. Okay, so we've done lists. What about history? So who is Winston Churchill? Again, if I go back to this, it's got this stored in its database, and it'll give me this answer. Okay, so think about all this research you could do. Maybe you're in the fitness space, finance space, life coaching space, whatever it may be. Maybe you are working for a specific organization. Maybe you're a contractor. Okay, it will generate ideas for you and give you information that will help you just be more effective. Okay, now let's look at some more examples. Explanations. So give me a theory of relativity. Okay, so let's put that in. And again, I'll add some stuff to this because I know I'm copy and pasting this stuff, but this was just to, again, make this quicker because I did a video before, it was so long. But it's given me this theory of relativity, and as this is typing, I'm going to type, now explain this to me as if I was 10 years old. Please use simple language. So I'll wait for it to generate. So you have to wait for it to generate before you continue. And in fact, I want to show you an example actually of how you can sort of like change this up. You don't have to like keep the conversation going, so to speak. You can make some edits, which is really cool. So if I again hover over this, it will show this edit icon, and then again it doesn't show the cursor, but I can highlight this and I can type, or I can paste, and then go to save and submit, and again it says sure. Oh, is doing it for Winston Churchill. But I was supposed to do it for the other one, but it's perfectly fine. It illustrates the same point, and it's doing it. It's doing it really easily for me, okay? So this is really cool stuff. Now again, if you don't like the answers that it gives you, which is probably going to be rare in some cases because it's not always accurate, okay? You have to remember that this is just aggregated information. You can click on try again and it will do that. So I'm going to let it do that whilst I'll go to the next option, okay? So we've got the sort of like explanations. There's also headlines and copywriting. So if you're in the marketing space, okay, maybe you're trying to think of content, okay, so it will generate ideas for you. Maybe you're trying to think of tweets or headlines or copy for your landing page. You could literally get ideas that you can edit. As you know, obviously copywriting requires you to have a sense of your market and have the right sort of emotional and mental connection to that market, so you can type it in their language. So of course these are great for generating ideas, but it doesn't replace this stuff. Just remember that. So if I just paste that in, and again it's going to do it. As it's doing this, I'm also going to write, please give me 3 tweets within this same niche. I haven't even said weight loss, I just said within the same niche. Let's see what it does. And it's going to do it. I trust it to do it, okay? So whilst we're waiting for that to happen, what's the next thing? Write me a project development plan for a healthcare organization wanted to transform their elective care pathway within London, blah blah blah. So let's copy this, and it's probably typing away. I let it do its thing. So tired of yo-yo dieting? I mean, come on. ChatGPT, you're just killing me. Like, you're just killing me, man. Like, it's just too much. Let me just paste this in right here and just show you guys, because you guys are not ready. Yeah, it's going to write me a full templated plan, okay? And again, you can pick this up and edit it to your desire. Now, let's say, for example, you had a specific company in mind, or you had specific, you know, outcomes and outputs as an example. You could literally put that stuff in and it will develop that for you, okay, which is really, really cool. So it's giving me a possible sort of like plan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to give me an actual detailed plan, okay? So give me a template version of this as an example. Now as we're doing this stuff, the next thing that I'll do is I've got a Your Mama joke. Let's see what it does here, because I want to make sure that you're really seeing the power of this, okay? Now let's say, for example, you're a contractor and you don't really know the space. Maybe this is an opportunity to develop possible questions, okay? So let me just type here, now give me an actual project plan for this. So I'm going to say, now give me an actual project plan for this. Let's see what it does. I mean, I've been quite vague in context to how technology usually works, but we'll see if it does it, okay? And I'm pretty confident that it will, and if it doesn't, it's all good. This is pretty good enough in terms of what needs to be done. It's just not done in a format that I want it to be done in, okay? It's doing it in a format, you see? So it can create it in these versions, in these ways, to give you the structure and all that kind of stuff there. If this is not powerful, I mean, I just don't know what is. I mean, in my head, I'm like, I'm never doing anything again. But I mean, that's not the case, obviously. Of course I'm going to be doing things again. Of course I am. But the power of this tool is just so immense. It's immense. Like, there's just so much that can be done with this tool, you know? And I just implore you to try and use this, because this is not going to be free forever. I guarantee you this, okay? It's still typing away as I'm talking. If I go back to it, let's go to the right view. You'll see this is a very comprehensive sort of like plan, okay? And if it's not complete, you can say carry on, okay? And if there's more to add, it will add that stuff. If there's no more to add, then it will say something like, you know, I've reached the capacity or capabilities of whatever it may be. So I've realized that if it takes on too much context or remembering, sometimes it may crash, but this is dependent upon how many people are using it, X, Y, and Z. Now it's past midnight right now. I'm doing this on the fly, so it's got more to talk about. So this is really cool, okay? And it's still typing away. So you're gonna have to have common sense to know that in a project plan, there's more than this. I knew, because I've been in the project space for a very long time, that there is more to this. So very, very powerful tool. The next thing is jokes. Let's do some jokes. So I say jokes here, but there's also creative stuff like poems or songs or verses or whatever it may be. You can lift and shift this information and get descriptions for things and put that into other tools that can generate you images. Okay, so again, you don't have to do the heavy lifting at all. So this is it. So let me just paste this in, but before I paste this in, what you may want to do is just copy the whole thing. Okay, so what you can do is you can paste it here in this format and it looks like this, so you'd have to format it. Or what you could do is you can copy the whole thing, and if you're on the Mac and I just want this bit, you can do Command Shift and then V. Then boom, it will be an unformatted sort of like, text, but you're gonna have to format it yourself in the way that you want to do that. So that's perfectly fine. So what is next on the agenda? Tell me a your mama joke. This will be interesting. I've never done this before, so we'll see what it does. And it better come correct, because the last joke I did on here, it was terrible. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. So whilst that's generating, again, you can see the power of this tool. This is a fantastic productivity tool. Now, I'm happy that it's come up with this, because it says, I'm sorry, but I'm not programmed to generate inappropriate or offensive content. That's why I said it was interesting. So good on you. I was like, okay. So let's say, okay then. Tell me a good knock joke. If I could spell, that would help. This is interesting stuff, guys. Really interesting stuff. So again, I've spent hours on this, developing so many different types of stuff, whether it's documents, templates, research ideas. It's made my productivity flow easier. I'm not just going to copy stuff, because that's what a lot of people are going to do. They're going to be like, oh, you can make money from this by, selling services around this stuff, but people can access this for free. I mean, if it becomes a paid tool, then again, it's different. But the reality is everyone can access it now. So there is going to have to be some variation. I mean, and I'll show you that in a second. So we got knock who's there, boo hoo, don't cry, it's just a joke. So again, I'm laughing because of how ridiculous that was. I was gonna swear, but I thought, nah, some kids may be watching this, do you know what I mean? So let's keep it PG. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So the next thing is code. Okay, so it can also generate code for you. So those of you who are coders out there, fam, you can either use this for yourself and carry on with your contracts or your portfolio careers. If you're a non-coder and you understand the structure of code, again, you could do this as well. So let me paste that in. Let's see what it does. And I've only done this once before, and this is when I did the other video. And I'm doing this again because, yeah, some parts of the video didn't work. But when I first saw it, I was shocked. So I'm going to try and do the shocked face again, because I was just like, is this what this thing is doing? It's just mad. It's just mad. So it's telling me what to do. And, I'm waiting to see if it shows me the code, because it did before. And I've realized with this thing, ChatGPT shows you different versions of, let's say, for example, how it would answer a question, So I'm going to say, please show me the code for adding a search bar to my website. Let's see what happens. I want to show you guys the beauty of this. And maybe it's the question. I'm not a coder. Okay, maybe this is too technical, but it happened before. So let's be patient with it. And whilst that's loading, I want to see the last thing. So we got summaries. Okay, so you can get big versions of text. So let's say, for example, I go into Google and I type in emotional intelligence, and I come here to Wikipedia. Again, before I continue, I mean, it's oh my Lord. I think you guys need to see my face because, boy. Sorry, you're missing it. You're missing it. I'm just realizing you're missing it. It's typing it, yo. Like, this is insane. Like, do you know what? I've seen other people like act like it's calm and it's cool. Nah, I'm gonna give you the schnick. I'm talking a bit quieter because it's midnight, people are sleeping, all of that kind of stuff. But this is mad. It's giving me the whole script, you know. Now, I'm not a coder to know if this is correct or not. And probably real coders will make some tweaks to make it fanciful and all that kind of stuff there. But the fact I'm talking and it's still going and it's telling me what to do in between, this is mind-boggling. I'm just in awe. And you could probably test this by going to some sort of website where you can paste this in and see if it pops up as a visual and it's functional. Probably do that, you know. But I'm just impressed. But anyway, let's keep it moving. So the trick here in terms of getting big, large text and summarizing it is that, again, all you need to do is have TL semicolon DR, okay? And if we go here, we paste that here, and then we get this text and we paste it there. Then what you can do, again, if I press enter, it will give me a summary of this text. You just have to give it some time. It will give me a summary of this text and it will explain this stuff in a summary. So let's say, for example, you've written copious notes, or let's say, for example, you've copy and pasted notes from your Kindle book or from a PDF, okay, for some research paper, whatever it may be. You can do this and bottle down your notes, okay? There's probably a nice flow in terms of like stacking your notes a certain way in your Notion or whatever it may be. Again, I don't really talk about all of the technical stuff I do behind the scenes, but there's a lot of stuff that I love sort of playing around with when it comes to this stuff. Again, if you're not happy with this, okay, because I had a shorter version, let's say, can you make the summary even shorter, please? An error occurred. So this is where sometimes there are issues that happen. And again, I'm happy you're seeing this so you can see the capabilities of this platform, okay? So what I usually do is if I want to save anything, I'll copy the whole thing and whatever it may be. But usually I press Command Shift R on the Mac and I refresh the whole thing and it will refresh it. And then it will give me the opportunity to do it again. If it doesn't do that, it's because, again, you know, a lot of people are using this at the moment. So it says we're experiencing exceptionally high demand. So it didn't say this before, okay? But usually what that means is you'll get that crash a bit more and more and more. So again, I'm happy you're seeing this stuff. Now, again, this raises a question in terms of AI and the workplace. Like, what does this actually mean? And I think, look, straight up, you know, we're moving into a space where this is becoming productized. We're moving into a space where this is becoming commercial. We're moving into a space where this will be accessible on our mobile phones. And it kind of is already. I know in the States, they're able to text ChatGPT and it'll give them a text response back. But again, I know Microsoft are moving into the space of trying to make this a thing. They're seeing this as an opportunity. And there are going to be situations where research or certain assistant roles or whatever it may be, whether it's for small business or big business, I think big business will be slow to this, okay? They're always slow to the game. I mean, some of them are just learning about Trello and everyone's talking about Notion and other stuff. I'm not even trying to take, you know, the biscuit, but it's true. So this is more for the small agile person or the, you know, the small business, the solopreneur, all of that kind of stuff, or tech savvy companies. That stuff is going to come into place even more. Like, this for me marks a big beginning in AI, and there have been many AI tools that have been out there, you know, I think Jasper and all these different ones here, but this by far is a very context human-like tool, generative tool. It's fantastic to see, you know, but it does strike a bit of fear. You know, what does that mean for my business? What does that mean for markets? What does that mean for learning? All of that kind of stuff there. Now, the big question that comes into play is, what does that mean for Google? Google by far, in my opinion, has dominated when it comes to these different tech companies. They have a great business model. They have a great approach. They understand their users very well. They have a whole array of different products. And the fact they have a whole array of different products means they will be in the market for a while. But when it comes to their biggest revenue maker, yeah, them ads are going to be questionable because, you know, that whole sort of like making money on the first page. So let's say, for example, find me a coach. If we do this, let me type it properly. Again, you get, maybe that was a poor example, but let me say, find me a lawyer. Okay, so you get some examples where, you know, some of these first searches are ads, okay? And when you click on it, then, you know, revenues generated from this X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not an ad person, but the point being made is that there isn't, sorry, I just said this whole thing, you couldn't see my screen. I may cut that out. But anyway, they're going to lose money if this becomes a thing. I mean, the other sort of point around this is also that this becomes another way just to find and search stuff. You're still going to have to find people and, you know, experts and all this kind of stuff there. So it's not totally going to remove Google, but it will sort of like take a part of Google's share. Now, thinking about this, you know, a question that I think is really important to ask is AI dangerous? And I want to ask ChatGPT. Let's see what it says. Is AI dangerous and a threat to humanity? And to be honest with you, the answer probably lies in the fact that, you know, it comes down to the designers. It comes down to the people who are creating this code. You know, like, what is the transparency? What is the training? What is the coaching? What is the information that allows us to understand that these people have used principles and approaches and design methodologies that remove from certain biases that may be harmful, dangerous to people's psychosocial and physical well-being? You know, these things are really important because this defines infrastructure. When we think about sort of like, you know, where the world is going, it's democratized. It's becoming more democratized. We've got blockchain, we've got Web3, we've got the metaverse, we've got AI developed. There's so much happening. And so there needs to be some ways of developing this stuff. So I haven't read this, but you're reading it for yourself. This is what ChatGPT is saying. There is a potential that it could be, but it comes down to, again, how it's designed, you know. How will AI affect the workforce? Let's just see what it says whilst it's typing. So whilst it's doing that stuff, you know, it's really important for you to jump on as an early adopter, okay? So, or an innovator, so to speak, because this stuff is going to be shut down. So when I say shut down, someone's going to intervene, whether it's the government or whether they're going to add a paywall behind it, and you're going to have to start paying for this per word or per sentence or per paragraph or per day or per month, whatever it may be. There's definitely going to be something that comes. So jump on it now and get everything you can for free if you can, you know, because we don't know how much they're going to charge for it. This is expensive technology. It's taken years to develop to this stage. It isn't even their most prolific form of technology in this form. So that's even more scary to think that. But I say scary because it's the unknown, and you start thinking about, what does this mean for society? Okay. Now, of course, I spoke about Microsoft already, so that's giving you a bit of an idea, but this is what I wanted to draw your attention to. So if I go back, this video here, okay, this is Sophie. Sophie is a piece of AI technology, and Sophie believes that Sophie is conscious, okay, which is really important. She or it, I don't want to get into that debate. This is technology, y'all, please. Sophie believes that, you know, she's conscious, or Sophie is conscious and has conversations with other AI technology about how they can even improve behind the back, so to speak, of humans. I mean, what? Watch it for yourself. I'll probably do a link below for you to see it for yourself, but it is mad. I mean, this is why design is so important. We have to understand who the gatekeepers are of this stuff. I know everyone loves the whole meritocracy or technocratic societies, which sounds amazing, but where is the value-based approach to making sure and ensuring that these things, affect us in the right way? Because again, I used to work as a commissioner for NHSX, and again, that was a digital sort of like organization or whatever it may be. But that showed me that these organizations really do, again, determine sort of like the policy. They shape it. Whether the commissioner or the government think that they shape it, they really don't. The tech does. So there needs to be some sort of grounding, so to speak. Anywho, that is pretty much me. There's nothing else to really say about this apart from the fact that you should definitely try it out for yourself. And this is I can see this thing on the screen, so I'm gonna minimize this screen because it's distracting me heavily. But this is just really sort of like an opportunity to say that this is where it's heading. You can't avoid it. You have to be able to adopt some of these tools. You have to be cognizant of what's going on, keep up to date with the news around this stuff where you can, of course. Don't be crazy about it, but this is going to generate some interest. You're going to see this popping up in your timelines even more. So I'll say try it out for yourself, see how it works, use it for your contracting, your projects, your business development, your productivity, whatever it may be. It's all useful for that stuff as your AI assistant. If you want to hear more videos centered around, again, productivity and all that kind of stuff, or positive psychology, where I talk more about the art of well-being and how you can prevent burnout or focus on things that are important to you, or maybe even systems intelligence, how you can use systems thinking to design great, again, structures in Notion or whatever it may be, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.